Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Sungwan Kim, and I'm going to talk about the NRF's strategy and the gender-based research. Before opening up my talk, I'd like to share my funny experience in English. Actually, I left for United States in 1988, just 1 month before the Seoul Olympic. So when I arrived in the United States, all the time I talk to my friends, faculty members, and neighbors. Can you speak English a little bit slowly? But after living in States 23 years, just before left for coming back to the South Korea, it started all my friends talking to me that, can you speak goddamn English a little bit slowly? So that's my funny story. And okay, this is the way I'm getting the attention for my presentation. So today, my presentation is going to be combined in mainly two parts. The first part is many of you don't know about the National Research Foundation of Korea, which is the United States NSF. So let me introduce South Korean R&D and NRF for about 5 to 7 minutes. Then I'm going to switch the gear to talk about the future challenge for the gender innovation. Okay. So this is a before and after shot in South Korea. So as you see, just before after the Korean War, the GDP is only $1.3 billion, but nowadays it's over $1,000 billion. So there is about $1,000 increment in the GDP. So the people told that about the Han River's miracle. So the two pictures is just after the Korean War, and from your right picture shows the list of photography of the Cheonggyecheon River. One of the big reasons for the big change is the continuing investment in the R&D in South Korea. So the GDP investment for the R&D is believe it or not, it's the #1 in the world, and the amount itself is the 6th in the world, and the government R&D budget is $17 billion US. The bottom chart shows that the R&D money is continuously increasing. So like I said, the government and private sector's R&D investment is $54 billion, and the government R&D is 28% of the whole R&D amount. And the ratio of the total R&D budget GDP is over 4%. That shows the #1 in the world. And especially a lot of investment is focused in the science and technology areas. So let me explain about the National Research Foundation. There are two main campuses. One is located in Seoul, South Korea. The other one is the Daejeon, which is the research hub of the South Korea. This chart shows that over 47 countries, there are 76 foreign partners with the NRF. And this is the org chart for the NRF, and the bottom chart shows that almost 17 billion. The NRF is handling about almost 4 billion, which is 25% of the whole South Korea research fund. So this is a budget allocation for this NRF. So as you see, about 20% is being spent for the basic research area. So, actually, money is important, but the more important thing is how we're going to distribute handling the money. So, for that, we have about 20 full-time, including myself, full-time. We call the program manager. So, this is not my 20 full-time program manager, and about almost 600 people part-time program managers. So these people are working very almost around the clock on a daily basis. They are working very hard to spend the research money very effectively and efficiently. And we also respect the foreign partners, researchers' opinions. So we have almost 1,500 foreign partners for evaluating proposals and research progress and end product result. Okay, let me switch the gear and let me talk about the research for the considering both genders. So until last year, most preclinical and clinical evaluation has been conducted with very, very limited resources. For example, the clinical evaluation is mostly with about 20 to 30-year-old male, and preclinical evaluation with the male mice. And the reason for that is, as you know, the female has a hormone issue, so to conduct the clinical evaluation with the female mice, I heard from my friend that the cost is not double. Cost is almost 3 to 5 times increasing for the preclinical evaluation of the female mice. And as you guess, if we conduct it's almost impossible to conduct the clinical evaluation with the kids and very senior folks. So that's why the clinical evaluation is currently being done 20 to 30-year-old male. But the problem is that this cost-effective and convenience-driven research is a big issue. Research outcome might be less effective and might not predict side effect properly. So as you know, the human physiology is very, very diverse, and procedure and medications may not be adequate for the infant kids, senior folks, or female. My family's example is that my mother-in-law she's sick right now, but the doctor gave her some prescription for the good medication, but that medication has some side effect for the over 80 years old people. That's another example. So, but today and beyond, evaluations are suggested to be conducted widely to cover almost all the scenarios. So the next several charts is showing about the listed activities. The first one is the NIH's initiative. So this is published last year journal paper, NIH initiative to balance sex of animal in preclinical studies. The next chart is the Women's Health Initiative. That's another interesting article. And the next chart is even New York Times. They start announcing that this is only months ago, that why science needs a female mice. As you know, not right now, I think everybody knows Dr. Londa. She's sitting right there, and this is her article about the importance of gendered innovations. Okay, I don't think you can read this this chart, but even South Korean newspaper, this is about less than a month ago, they also start broadcasting that in science, gender-based research is very, very important. Okay, so now what? Everybody knows the importance of considering both genders, and so, but actually diagnosing the problem is very, very easy, but we have to implement the policies and procedures to consider all the cases. So starting from now, NRF is trying to support all the researchers in South Korea. So the preclinical evaluation also considering female mouses, and clinical evaluation with a diverse group. So considering male plus some kids plus some senior folks and plus some female. The bottom of the chart is I used to be a rocket scientist, so believe it or not, the time for the trip to space is coming soon. So a lot of, I think everybody knows the International Space Station is revolving around the Earth every day, but most people doesn't know why they are there right now. But a lot of volunteers and heroes are living right out there, and they actually volunteer to collect the human data under the microgravitations. So the bottom of the chart shows the website. They actually published some very, very important research outcome in 2009. So this is another example we have to consider the diverse conditions before jumping to the different world. So, so like I said, the big issue is the cost. So considering the female mice, the researcher needs more money. So NRF has allocated some budget for the clinical evaluation when considering female mice. So right now, if the researchers is submitting a proposal, including the pre-clinical evaluation conducted with the female mice, we are either we are giving them some kind of a plus point, or giving them some additional research money. And also, we are planning to periodically monitor gender-based research. This is my last chart, and thank you for listening. And